Okay, you homeschoolers out there in Oregon, here's another actual folk song. This is an actual folk song. You can tell because it's 150 years old. Also because there's many versions of it, because usually with folk songs there's several versions, and every folk who comes along singing it makes a few changes or makes a whole new version. It's called Acres of Clams, and I learned it in 1977. It was written, well, the version I know mostly was written back in about 1877, so about 100 years later I learned it in back then when Soren's mama was a little baby out in Olympia, Washington, and that's where the song was written in 1877, or one version of it was written. It's called Acres of Clams, and you people who live near water, you know about clams, right? Puget Sound is where Olympia, Washington is, right there on the water. It's called Puget Sound, which is next to the ocean, where some of you folks live. Here we go. I've traveled all over this country, prospecting, digging for gold. I've tunneled, hydraulicked, and cradled, and I have been left in the cold quite often. Yes, I have been left in the cold. Sometimes I get left in the cold. I've tunneled, hydraulicked, and cradled, and I have been left in the cold. For one who gets riches from mining, perceiving that hundreds grow poor, I made up my mind to try farming, the only pursuit that is sure. The only pursuit that is sure. It's the only pursuit that is sure. I made up my mind to try farming, the only pursuit that is sure. So rolling my grub in my blanket, it's food, leaving my tools on the ground, I started one morning to shank it, that's walking, for a country they call Puget Sound. For a country they call Puget Sound. For a country they call Puget Sound. I started one morning to shank it, for a country they call Puget Sound. No longer a slave of ambition, not me. I laugh at the world and its shams, and think on my happy condition, surrounded by acres of clams. Oh yeah, surrounded by acres of clams, surrounded by acres of clams, and think on my happy condition, surrounded by acres of clams. That's the story, and we're sticking to it.